Welcome to Backyards and Bevvies. Grab your favorite bevy, pull up a chair, and enjoy the ride. Hey, welcome to Backyards and Bevvies.
Hi, everybody.
Another cold edition.
Yeah.
If you aren't watching this or if you're just listening to this on one of the streaming platforms, there's a lot of fog and a lot of, I can see my breath.
Yeah, it's definitely a chilly day out. I'm not really sure what we're going to do as it gets colder here.
Well, we're getting a fire pit, I think.
Yeah, but still. We may eventually have more inside editions.
We can use the white wall.
January and stuff, yeah.
We'll do the white wall with put us in a tropical rainforest.
Yeah, a little paradise.
But hey, welcome to Backyards and Bevvies. This is your midweek treat for laughs, smiles, and
some life lessons
and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
Today's a very special Backyards and Bevvies edition.
It is.
It's a Stranger Things Day.
Yes.
November 6th, 1983, when the world
Turned upside down.
Turned upside down,
yeah. And it's also a very special day.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, okay.
I saw a really cool meme that got me started on that.
Okay, go ahead.
But I have to say, before you interject all of a sudden, that show, we need to rewatch it.
Yes, I'm so ready for the 4th season to come out. Like, come on. It's been way too long.
I didn't believe you when you told me about the hype, but
I know. You should believe me more often. I have said that on this show one time or more before.
We have. And we've gotten a comment about it, too. Like, someone was like, yes, I think you should. And it's good when people do listen. So I will listen more. So, okay. So now you can go on and I'll listen to whatever you're going to say about whatever's more special than Stranger Things Day. I don't know.
Well, the more special thing than that is that on November 6th, 1983, PK was also born. So today is his birthday.
82.
82? Oh, but Stranger Things Day was 83. 82.
I'll go back.
Kidding.
I'll go back a day. You were so serious, too, as you said that. You were
I know.
This
well,
day
because when I said to you earlier, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, so your birthday is the exact same as Stranger Things Day? And you said yes. So I was like, okay, cool, 1983. Burp, burp, burp.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
Way
the
to
same
go.
day.
Terrible. You ruined my setup. Let's start over.
Let's rewind it. All right.
Happy birthday, babe.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
And to celebrate today, we're doing you're doing a lot of stuff. I'm doing a little bit of stuff. But we have one of my favorite bevies inside this. Feel free to throw your ad here. Anyone who's listening or watching, if you would like some advertisement, slap it on this cooler.
Yes.
But I have I have my favorite bevy for sure. I don't know if it's yours.
It's definitely one of my favorites.
But I have one of my favorite sugar-free rock stars.
Yes, same here.
I don't know what it is about this drink, but it definitely, I don't know, it gets me going. I don't drink hot drinks, really.
No,
either,
you
don't. I don't drink coffee, really. I don't.
When we make cold brew, that's yummy, but I don't know. You've gotten me addicted. I'd never drank rock stars until you. Like, if I was going to have an energy drink, it used to be Red Bull. Yeah. And then once you got me into rock stars, I mean, like, I do not like other energy drinks anywhere near as much as I like these.
I don't know what it is about it. And this is not a plug either.
No.
I mean, I hope that Rockstar's listening to this.
It's just the truth. And that one you have in your hands, the gold Rockstar energy drink, is my favorite, except that it has less caffeine than this purple grape one. So I've been going for the extra caffeine when I can.
Extra caffeine, yeah. No, I don't know what it is. Like, for years, I lived off energy drinks and bacon and goldfish on the road.
You were very healthy.
I was probably the most healthiest person in the world.
Healthy?
Yeah, I mean, one of my diets for a solid tour was goldfish in a red Solo cup. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many Red Bulls or Rock Stars a day. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, meat, bacon, and then nighttime was beer, vodka, or whatever I could. And I was like, I was like skinny fat.
Skinny fat. Like looked skinny, but on the inside, your arteries were probably clogged with all the things.
Probably, like I know I did treadmill stuff then, but I probably couldn't have done like 10 push-ups or something like that.
No, you do a lot of push-ups now. Well, cheers.
Well, yeah, cheers. Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Yay.
Cheers. Yeah, there's this is like birthday.
Delicious.
Well, and we're not doing alcoholic. Well, for many, we'll get into the many reasons, but you have a lot on your plate today because not only do you have, you're going to go to spin class here in a little bit, which is awesome.
Yeah, my first one since being pregnant.
Yeah. And then we have a reception dinner tonight, right?
A rehearsal dinner,
dinner, yeah.
Yeah, from my friend who's getting married.
Yeah, big shout out to them.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. And I chose non-alcoholic because I really do. I could drink. I could not drink for months and it would never bug me. I think if you took away my rock stars, I'd be a little bit harder.
Yeah, a little sad for sure.
Just because I do love caffeine in the morning.
Needed.
So I thought
especially having a baby.
Well, and I put on a big heavy sweatshirt. I mean, I knew it was gonna be cold, and I was like, it was cold. I just need to get my blood flowing with some caffeine this morning.
For sure.
And the other night, knowing that I was turning 39, I think I turned it up a little too much with some vodka.
You turned it up real high. You went to 11 for sure.
But I didn't go crazy. I mean, I was in bed early. It was wild though. But I woke up
early. It was like 1 a.m.
Okay, well, but I woke up the next day and thinking back to the conversation we had last week, I wasn't really going to record this week because I have a couple interviews that we have set up. I still have the very first interview that I ever did for this show, and it's going to be very awkward for people when they like listen, maybe because it's still like I'm learning and learning how to talk. But
just shows how far you've come already.
It's in like summer, so
yeah, it was definitely the very end of summer. I wish it was a little warmer right now.
So if you're one of the podcast watchers on YouTube, then you're gonna look in the backyard and be like, how was it like 40 degrees and they're in hoodies and beanies, and then all of a sudden this next episode's gonna be like very sunny.
Yeah, I'm really, really hoping that speaking of weather, that tomorrow's weather is a lot warmer than this, because I will be in a spaghetti strap, very thin bridesmaid dress with open-toed shoes, and it's an outdoor wedding.
Wow.
Whew.
Suck it up.
Whew.
Suck it up.
It'll be great.
Those are the sacrifices that we all have
totally
to
worth
do.
It. Oh, totally worth it.
Totally worth it. You'll make her day. You'll make everyone's day.
I can't wait.
You'll look
I'm
great.
so excited for them.
I'll be in the back laughing with with those.
Yeah, you're gonna have on a full suit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so comfy. I'll be up there shivering.
I'll have a flask in my pocket.
Yeah, do that. I need some of that.
But yeah, so I hurt myself the other day pretty good, and I woke up yesterday kind of bummed out because we had just had this awesome podcast about, life being down. I'd come back up, and here I am hurting myself at 39 and being like, man, I know better than that, and why would I do that? And I hurt myself. And
yeah, you were in a bad spot yesterday.
But I woke up eventually, and I just remembered that, there are those days where it is going to be things I do to myself that I'm the problem. It's like I'm the one that created that issue, not anyone else. I can't take it out on anyone else. All I can do is just wake up, be like, okay, how can I regain a little bit of my dignity? Not that I did anything embarrassing, but it's like, how can I go and really pull myself together and be like, okay, well, I at least need to finish the day.
Right.
Maybe I didn't start the day. Maybe I didn't even participate really in the day. But how can I finish this day? And I think that yesterday, by the end of the day, I had forgiven myself, for one. That was a big one.
Which is probably the most important thing.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, man, I'm so sorry that, you had to watch the little one a little more than normal. I'm sorry that you had to do certain things that you didn't, shouldn't have had to do, maybe, like the kitty litter or whatever. The list could go on. But when I finally got it together, it was like, well, I can either go down there and be a sad sack and just be down on myself, or I can just participate with the family and have fun. And it was really nice having your mom in town. And that's probably one of the reasons why I tore it up a little bit, is that, we're up talking and having fun and laughing. And next thing I know, it's like, that cold, delicious bottle of vodka in the freezer.
Just bye-bye.
Yeah, it was missing. There was a hole in it.
Yeah.
But a few days prior to finding the hole in the bottle, the vodka bottle, I'd wrote a note, and we get asked a lot, especially after this last podcast we put out. We had a lot of very positive people either send us text messages or send us emails, send us
DMs, yeah,
DMs, and they were just so sweet to say like, oh wow, thank you for putting yourself out there, and I think that's all I can do is put myself out here every week for the audience, and hope that I get down on myself when I don't have, let's say, 10 downloads. It's like, oh, what did we do wrong? But then all of a sudden you wake up and that one person's like, thank you so much for that, and you're like, oh wow. Okay, well, that means more to me than having 11 downloads because that one person truly hit it out of the park.
Yeah, absolutely.
By sending that message that maybe I needed. This isn't me just helping people. This is people helping me and you helping me. And
for sure. And I think it's definitely key that, like you said, it may have been 10 downloads or whatever. And sometimes it's easy to get wrapped up in thinking that success is determined by the number of views or subscribers or followers or things like that. But I think you just hit the nail on the head that we're discovering that success is when we are actually able to connect with people that do listen and either bring them some joy or some understanding, or, have them feel something from us that they needed at that point.
Yeah. And success yesterday for me was, it was success in the afternoon when I finally woke up and had the little guy laugh at me a little bit or joke with me, and then he napped with me. Though I messed up the whole morning and I felt like I had truly ruined something, I didn't. I just needed to pull myself out of that slump. And that is what this whole new life to me every day is. And so talking last week, we're talking about these anxieties that I feel, this depression that I can put myself in. Well, a lot of it is because I had to pick up everything, and I chose this. It wasn't, again, this is my choice to do this. I left a career to do something different. And it wasn't done because I was trying to I wasn't trying to get any accolades for it. I wasn't trying to get any recognition. It was something that I truly deep down felt by me leaving the road and being a stay-at-home dad, that I would be able to give my son something that's more precious than any amount of money could buy him.
So true.
And I don't mean that in any kind of negative way towards anybody who doesn't choose that.
Right. It's not for everybody. It's just what works for our family.
This was strictly our choice. But it came, and it still does come, with a lot of learning. I am
100%.
I mean, I could have toured around the world up and down pallets and, cargo planes and trains, planes, and automobiles. However you wanted me to put the gear into a new city, that's easy. I figured it out, and I knew the formula, and I was very successful with it. And it's also, too, because I always surrounded myself, my company surrounded me with very successful people to help us do that, right? Now, I struggle daily with myself. Yeah. I don't have anyone else to blame when I don't feel good, or when I didn't do something right, or when I miss, one of the feedings a little bit, or, now the laundry list of other things that can go wrong with having a baby and all this stuff, it hits me even harder, I think. And it's like, wow, okay, how can I regain this? And so talking over the last week, I have made some notes and stuff, and one of the notes was, what is Backyards and Bevvies? What am I trying to do here? Because at first, even I was like, maybe I just tell some really cool stories. Like maybe I just have all my touring friends and we just sit in the back here with Bevvies and we just talk shop, and people laugh, or they hear something that makes them go, oh wow, I always wondered what happened backstage. And as it's evolved over these past few months and stuff, it's almost become this lifestyle. Yeah. It's like, you've ever heard the term, just take a deep breath?
Yeah. Yes. I think I say it to you all the time.
Just take a deep breath. You don't say it to me as much anymore. I'm like, my stress level is way down.
Way down.
But I think it's because we're getting to utilize things like our backyard.
Yeah.
Like coming out here is taking that deep breath.
It was, do you remember when I went to Oregon for the first time for my friend's 30th birthday, and you were on the road, and I fell in love with the outdoors out there. And I said to you something very similar that you just said, is that when I was outside in that environment, it felt like a reset button.
Yeah.
Like I could take a deep breath and let go of anything I had going on that was overwhelming. And then when I pulled up to our house when it was for sale and we were looking for a house, I got the exact same feeling as soon as I got here. And it was just like, okay, when I need to get away from it all, this is where I can do that.
Yeah. I don't remember those exact words, but I do remember you saying something to that extent. And you've said it a few times. My listening is getting better, so I'll remember it this time.
Thank you for that.
But that's what it is, though. Coming out here and talking to you has been a giant, like, exhale of stress and of emotions, and it is that moment where it's the counting to 10. It's the take a deep breath. It's the whatever our listeners use to do that. Like, that's what Backyards is to me. All right, and like that's important though. Like, take that deep breath. All right, I feel better already. And now we're out here it's pretty foggy today, but still there's a little sun shining through. You can hear the birds chirping. Life is moving. The trees are dying right now, but they're still alive. Yeah, they're going to regenerate next year.
Hibernating.
And it's I've never looked at nature that way, and I've always looked at nature maybe kind of as a silly hippie thing. And not because maybe because I'm a little rude at times, but I never looked at it for what it was. And so we talked last week about Bishop Barron, right?
Yep.
And he always said in his podcast, besides talking about so many other things that are magnificent, he talked one thing about always the beautiful, the truthful, or the truth, and the goodness. Beauty, truth, good. And the first time I heard it, I was like, okay, yeah, beauty, yeah, okay, truth, yeah, good. But when you start to like really think about those things, they all coincide, and they all really do give your life that deep breath, though. So being in the backyard with you and a bevy, my favorite bevy, like right now, I'm happy. I'm content. I know that whatever happens today happens. Like, it's out of my control. But there's certain things that I can control, like waking up and putting my shoes on. All right, that's the step. All right, here we go. And I just have to say that I am my own worst enemy when it comes to that.
Yes.
And I am my own, I am the one that creates all my own issues inside myself, which then potentially could lead to me creating home issues.
Right.
Because
absolutely.
I could have woken up yesterday and been in a bad mood because then I missed going to the store with you, or that I missed doing this with you, or I missed doing something with the little guy. And then I could have taken that out on you guys, and I could have just been like, you know what, I'm just going to go back to the room. But I sucked it up.
You did.
And that is that mentality that is so hard that I'm learning how to do, because on the road, it was easy to just, well, you know what, I'm going to be dealing with some stagehands today. Maybe I'm not going to take out my anger on my crew, but maybe the one person that tells me something I don't want to hear, I'm going to snap on them. I'll be able to get it out on them. I don't really have a lot of people here to snap on.
No.
And if I snap at you, well, that just turns into...
It's not going to go well.
Yeah, and if I snap at my little 6-month-old, he's not going to understand. He's just going to laugh at me.
Yeah.
So I have to take these stressful days and these days of anger and pain or whatever I'm feeling, and I really do have to find a new way to exercise them.
Absolutely.
Hence, Backyards and Bevvies.
Yeah.
And this has been a really therapeutic way of getting out so much already. When I just thought it was going to start as funny stories.
Right.
I just always whatever. Like, here's a way for me to potentially create something. But it's not what I thought I was going to create. And so I wrote this note, and I want to read it to the audience and you. And so we could ask, time to time, what is B&B, or what are you guys going to do with B&B?
Mm-hmm.
And where do you see it going? And here's just a quick thought that I had. B&B is more than just a brand. It's a state of mind. It is that moment when people say, I took a deep breath and I let go of the things I can't control.
Boom. I totally agree.
I think it is, though.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a place where people listening or people watching, hopefully they pick up their laptop, or hopefully they pick up their player, I say player like they're listening to it on like a giant boombox.
I'm like, their player? What is that?
Like your media player, I don't know.
A media player. No.
What was the there's the iPod.
Yeah.
Remember there was like a Zoom? A
Zoom?
Zoink?
I don't know what you're talking
like
about.
Microsoft. Well, that clearly it didn't last long.
Oh yeah, what was that one called?
And you'd always
I don't remember, but it was not nearly as good.
You'd see like the one or two people with it, and they would like totally hype it up, and you're like,
yeah, my iPod's way better.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Oh yeah, what was that called?
I don't know. A Zoink?
Not a Zoink, but we can refer to it as that.
I don't know, but hopefully people pick up their stuff, and instead of listening inside, I mean, obviously some people have to. Maybe they're listening to it on their way to work or at work or something like that, and that's just where they listen to their podcast. But hopefully some people pick up their computer, their media player,
their phone,
and go outside and grab themselves a bevy and look at what they have. And maybe it isn't a big sprawling backyard. Maybe it's only a 2x2 little, pad that's on an apartment complex. Mm-hmm. But just take in that air. Just take in the noises. Maybe those noises that you thought you hated slowly kind of turn into something that's more of like a jingle.
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of like you said last week, that finding something to be grateful about every day is key. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It can be something really small. You could be having the absolute worst day of your life, but taking a minute to take a deep breath and then think to yourself, you know what? I'm grateful that I'm breathing.
Yeah.
It can be as simple as that.
Yeah. And that gratitude, every morning I roll out of bed and the first thing I do is I pray. I say a little prayer. And some days it's maybe longer than others. Some days it's really short. And some days it's just, hey, get me through today. I need all that you can give me, because yesterday was hard, or today just seems like it's starting hard, or you know what? We both went to bed on the wrong side of the bed, and I don't want to get out of bed on the wrong side of the bed. Yeah. So that gratitude to me is the one thing that I never had on tour, and I think I took it for granted. I flew around the world how many times for free?
So many.
I've seen so many beautiful countries. Not all of them, but I've seen a giant number of beautiful countries. Way more than most people in the world would ever get to see. And somehow I would always find it easy for me to be like, ugh, I'm on a middle seat. Yeah. Or, like, whatever. Yeah, I'm staying in a Hampton today as opposed to the Ritz. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm out of it, I'm like, man, I wish I could shake younger PK and be like, look at what you have, even dude. On those horrible days, you should have been like, yeah, maybe it is just chicken and broccoli and catering, but you're eating. Get over it. For free. Yeah. Get over it. You're eating. And those were the days that, to me, I threw it away. I squandered it, I guess you could say, in a way. Like, I didn't take advantage of all those beautiful days I could have had. And I think some of it was because of who I thought I was. For sure. And I was never humble enough to put myself to a very bottom place and say, well, there's a lot of people that don't have this. Yeah. Or who would pay thousands of dollars to have this. Yeah. Well, when you're in the middle of something, especially on a daily basis, it can be really hard to be able to step outside of yourself and take a look at what you have and not take things for granted. For sure. And that's like when I said last week that when I get to see a live show, it reminds me not to take what I get to do for granted, because the things that I get to do and the people that I get to meet and spend time with and stuff. People pay.
crazy amounts of money to get to do those things and don't have nearly the access that I get to have simply because it's my job to do my absolute best for those people. And there's definitely something very humbling in taking a step outside and looking at that and saying, oh yeah, this is pretty awesome.
It truly is awesome that people get to go and do things just on a regular. And I say that in the way because I'm here a lot now. I used to travel 300 days a year. Now I'm home 300 days, 365 days a year.
Yeah.
And it's weird to me, but the days that I get to go do little things are some of my like happiest moments right now because I get to go do them with my son, or I get to throw him into the car, and well, I don't really like throw him in the car, but
like I put him in his little baby seat.
Safely place him into his little baby seat and strap him in, and then we go. And there's something so cool about it. There's something so, I don't know, just being in that moment of being a dad and doing that. I obviously wouldn't give up what I've already seen, but I clearly gave up to seeing more to do that for him. And that right there, to me, it's hard at times because I'm like, I still see all my friends out there touring.
You get some FOMO, understandably.
But then he smiles. I'm like, okay, well, I wouldn't have seen that if I was gone. And I made that choice. But those days are hard, though. Those are those hard days where I have to pull myself out of bed. I have to walk myself out to the kitchen, get myself my morning pre-workout, workout, and then I'm like,
get
for
your
what?
Mind right.
Because there for about 3 hours, I don't see him. So for 3 hours, I'm like, well, here I go again. Same freaking day, same boring routine, same, and I could look at it that way. And some days I do. So, and that's just, I think, because of how much I used to go.
For sure.
And so, yeah, it's hard. Those 3 hours, I'm like, dang, what if I just...
Hurry up and wake up, little man.
How could I... Maybe I could go and do something. Maybe I could go do just one. But then it's like, well, if I do one, then I'll do two. Then I'll do 3 tours.
It won't just be one.
So... And that's the same with, my drinking. I should have looked at it the other night like...
I tried to give you the eye.
I know you did. I know. But what do you think about that statement that I wrote?
I love that statement. I really definitely think that... I know that for the two of us, it is definitely true.
Yeah.
And I just hope that as time goes on, like you said, that we are able to help to give people that respite, that hour to get away and take a deep breath. Maybe somebody's at the gym working out, listening to Backyards and Bevvies, and that's their motivation for being at the gym, or who knows what.
Well, I think that's key too, is that maybe right now, like those 3 hours that I have to go through, maybe right then I can't get what I want, or maybe I can't do what I want, or I can't be where I want. But here shortly, if I'm patient and I just wait it out, I'll be able to hang with my little boy, and then we'll be able to chill, and then all those other thoughts go away.
Yeah.
And so maybe this whole idea of you going in your backyard isn't, or maybe a walk. Like, I don't know. There's something to be said. When I was like stranded in these arenas, I rarely went and got fresh air, unless I was smoking a cigarette.
Which the air's not fresh if you're smoking a cigarette. Let's be real.
I was outside, but yeah, there's something to be said about just getting away from it. And there are people on tour that did it, and I always looked at them like, wow, that's really weird, but cool. I never understood it.
I think, just being able to appreciate what's around you.
So maybe what you're getting at was the fact that, maybe someone is listening to this at the gym, but maybe on their way home, instead of rushing home just to rush home and then to be inside, maybe they stop and they drink their smoothie, their post-workout smoothie, at a park.
Yeah, maybe.
And just sit there and take in.
Or just roll the windows down in the car.
That is nice. I did that it's been probably a couple months because the weather's gotten a little wild, but I did that. I rolled all 4 windows down.
Did you?
And it was like... Whoosh.
You know what's funny? Actually, like anytime I say roll the windows down, I immediately, a song pops into my head that I started listening to in college. And it's still one of my favorites to this day. It's by this band called Cartel.
I was going to say, is it Florida Georgia Line?
It is
Cruise?
Not. No. I wasn't in college when Cruise came out.
I don't know. They roll their windows down in Cruise.
They do. But no, it was by this band called Cartel.
Uh-huh.
And it's called Lucky Street. The original version is my favorite, not the reworked version.
Okay.
If anybody wants to go and listen, I think it's on the Lucky Street EP. And it has this line in it that says, "It's time to roll the windows down, feel the cold air all around. We could get out of this town." And anytime it is a chilly day like today, I will blast the heat, but I will roll the window down a little bit because there's just something about that like crisp fall winter air. It just kind of makes you feel a little more alive, maybe like gets your blood going because you're freezing like I am right now. But yeah, there's something about that song and having the windows down in the car or just being outside, something that really makes you feel just a little bit more alive for that moment.
Yeah. I can totally agree with that. There's always something special about leaving the desert or going out to the desert and having the windows down, the music up, the night sky going. And especially when it was, the Novembers, Decembers, and it was cold and all you were bundled in there with your, fleece hoodies or whatever hoodies and jeans and there's probably cigarettes going and
Yep.
I'll always think back to those days when I was a kid and same thing. There's something magical about the windows down. So maybe that is the release. All I'm trying to get to everyone right now in this time is that you can do anything you want to find that peace. But sometimes that peace isn't something that you've ever thought about. And so sometimes going outside and just trying something new can open up your brain. Because to me, being a stay-at-home dad was the last thing I ever wanted to do. Yeah. And I fought it. I would have fought. Probably if the panoramic never had happened.
You're never going to stop calling it a panoramic, are you?
There's like a feather on this thing that keeps bugging me on this microphone. I would have fought it until the day that we probably got a divorce, unfortunately. And that would have been a sad day for you because I would have been so stubborn that I just wouldn't have seen the point and been like, well, whatever.
It would have been a sad day for me.
But I will honestly say the more I don't fight it now that I'm home, and the more that I just open up my brain and my heart and let God take me to these new places, I'm in a world of happiness. Which is crazy to me. I honestly never thought that being a dad, being a stay-at-home dad, being a full-time stay-at-home dad that has given up a giant paycheck and all that stuff would make me happy, but I am. It's just those inner days where my demons really get out that I have to find why I do this. And I think that statement kind of says it all. It's like, well, maybe Backyards and Bevvies, maybe that 1 hour of me sacrificing my little tushy to be outside in the cold can bring that one person that wrote me that one email to tell me that they've been through a lot. Maybe it is worth it. Maybe all the things I do. Maybe that little smile that he gives me, at
so cute when he smiles.
7 a.m. after I've rolled him over and got him out of bed and wake him up. Maybe it is worth it. Maybe those are those things, those moments, and bringing him outside, walking him around, taking him on little walks, to watch his eyes light up is, I would be missing out on so much if I
so much. Yeah, so, you would, and he would be missing out on you, which would be even more sad. I think, I think it's, especially being a little boy, I think it is so valuable that he gets to have you at home with him to help to teach him how to be a good man and a gentleman and to respect others and to be kind.
Love.
Yeah, love, for sure.
To walk him around and to show him the beauty and the good and the truth in this world. It does feel good. He has no idea yet.
Nope.
He has no idea. He will, and I think the the more that I can show him that when things go bad, there's ways to pick yourself up and look at the situation around you or the people around you and show that bit of love, show that bit of gratitude to that one person that's having a bad day. And to me, it's striking because he is that to me in the mornings. Mm-hmm. When I am having a bad day, he doesn't know what he's doing, but his little smile to me lights my world up.
Absolutely.
So maybe I need to smile at someone else.
Yeah.
And then that smile that I smiled at that person in traffic that was having a really bad day, maybe they go home and they smile at someone else. Mm-hmm. And that smile can go 100 feet further than me, doing something, that isn't happy. Maybe if I would have honked my horn at him, he would have then, or they would have then gone
home and yelled at their wife or something, and then their wife would have yelled at the kid, and then the kid is sad,
and then the kid comes back to school and he punches our kid in the arm. I mean, well, that's how circles.
So true.
That's how circles work, though. It's like just because we're having a happy, sunshine-filled day doesn't mean that the person next to me in the car isn't about ready to go drive their car off a cliff. Mm-hmm. And maybe that little bit of gratitude that I can, because I could be. I want to be some days angry that I'm not traveling the world because there was a couple countries I want to make it to, and I was like holding on to hope. But you know what? That hope, it'll come. I'll get there one day. But now I'll get there with you. Yeah. And the little ones. Yeah. We'll be that family on the plane with little kids kicking the seats.
We'll try. We'll try to make them not do that.
We'll try it out. We'll try to teach them manners.
But I think what you just said though is very key, because it's one thing to be self-aware, which is huge. Being able to be aware of your own feelings and how you react to things and how you treat others and stuff like that. That is a very big deal. I think on top of that, being aware of others and of your surroundings is just as important, because like you said, you never know how you can impact somebody's day doing something small. Yeah. Letting somebody merge in front of you versus being like, well, I'm late, I have to get there. And honestly, it's going to save you like 5 seconds. Not even, but you may have made that person's day. Maybe it's a mom who is struggling to get the kids into the car because one of them doesn't feel good and doesn't want to go to school. And now they're running late trying to get to school.
Exactly.
Those things can make a very big difference in someone's life. It's like that, you sent me that TikTok the other day of that guy who was homeless. Yeah. That is no longer homeless, but he talked about his dad always carrying like 5 or 6 quarters in his pocket, and he would go put a quarter in a meter for somebody that was about to run out. Yeah. And he would always ask his dad, like, why do you do that? His dad was like, well, you never know who that 25 cents is going to help. Maybe their father just died and they are in there making plans for a funeral. And
then to come out to $100 ticket.
Yeah, it's 25 cents to help somebody else when they're going to get a $100 ticket instead. You could really change the trajectory of that person's life with something so small, because you never know how close somebody is to their breaking point.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, I follow a lot of positive people on these social media platforms now. And it's not necessarily because that's the only thing that I want to follow, or that's because I'm trying to pick myself up from this dark abyss I live in. No. It just is it is such a cool thing, though, to hear these other stories or these other people's perspectives on how to pick yourself up. Because some days I don't need the pickup. It's the 1 or 2 times a month that I just want to, go hug a toaster in the bathtub. That
is it that bad?
No.
That's really intense. I'm going to hide the toaster from you.
It has a short cord. It's okay.
It does. I don't think it would reach the bathtub.
I tested it out. I'm playing.
Oh my goodness.
No, but I say that in a joking, non-joking way that, look, okay, that's extreme. That's really, really extreme. But there's days that you just have a bad day. But maybe I follow those people 100 times and I watch 100 of their videos in a month. and it does nothing except put good thoughts into my brain.
Yeah.
But then the one day I turn it on and it's the one video I need to hear that day, that's why I follow those videos.
For sure.
Because there's something positive about that. There's something positive about watching someone else tell you, and we talked about this last week, seeing someone pick themselves up from the bottom and hearing how they did it or what helped them. You know that there's a lot of other people having really bad days. It's not just me.
Worse days.
Way worse than me.
Yeah.
And if I was to think about it, I'm just speaking in general terms of the United States. But I mean, think about how many people in like West Africa or in, you know, South America, or name a country that has it worse than us. And
there's a lot of them. And
unfortunately, we put a lot of perspective on what's here in the United States, but I mean, some of those people don't eat for days.
Oh, the women and children in Afghanistan right now, what they're suffering through. And
it's hard, and we could go really in depth in that, and we could sit here and spend hours on how bad suffering is around the world. But I think the one thing that we could say is that, sorry, BK just pushed her mic far away from her, is that I have it pretty darn good.
You do.
And I'm going to say this because this is another thing that Jordan Peterson said one time that really brought my perspective of life way up, is that we always get stuck that like the top 1% are all these billionaires. But that's in the United States. But if you were to do it around the world, all of us in the United States
are 1%.
Are 1% almost.
Yeah.
Not all of us, but
a lot. The majority probably.
It probably goes into the 80% of the United States is in the 1%. And people don't think about that you have it good and we have it good together. Let's try to be 1% better to each other and be better around each other. Let's smile more. Let's help each other out. Let's pick each other up as opposed to always putting each other down.
Yeah.
Like, what if social media spent time... What if everybody spent time on social media instead of, like, dogging someone's photo? They just gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Like,
it takes 2 seconds to give somebody a like, not even, a little double tap.
And that's what
and it could make their day.
That's what that Garyvee guy said one time that I loved. He was talking about the wink.
Oh, yeah. You and your wink.
I always wink at you.
You do.
And it always gives you a smile. It
gives me the warm and fuzzies.
Yeah, and I like that wink. I never thought about it. And the minute he said it, I said, oh my gosh, this guy is a genius when it comes to perspective and gratitude and how to cheer someone up. And that wink is that like. That wink is that little heart, double tap. Just because maybe it is a photo that it's not your favorite photo. But that person put that up there for a reason. That person put it up there for you.
Maybe they need some validation that day.
Maybe they do. Or maybe they just were looking to get their friends to get a little bit of a smile or something like that. And I think that right there is the wink. He had it right when he said it. That's the new wink. When you're walking down the road and how many times have you passed someone in a hallway and you've tried to like smile at them or just give them a head nod? And they're just Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
They don't even acknowledge it. Well, that's unfortunate because it's such a cool thing to be able to engage with people.
For sure.
And though when I toured, I always tried to engage with people. I wish I would have engaged more. Because now looking back on it, I did spend a lot of days angry or upset over nothing.
Yeah.
And now I spend my days here and I have nothing to be angry or upset about. I can't. I shouldn't. I do.
Yeah.
But that's that's where this whole podcast is going, is that, well, maybe this hour back here every week can take that negative energy and I can transfer into something positive. And that's why I decided that today we had to do a podcast, whether it was an hour-long one or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I knew that we had to sit back here, and I knew that just because I have a couple preloaded doesn't mean that I can't come out here and express how I feel, my gratitude to that one person that wrote me that one message that really made my day.
Yeah. Well, and I think,
because I was having a hard day.
Yeah, I was going to say it definitely helped pull you out of a funk that you were going through. And then it wasn't just one message, it was multiple messages, and they were all so kind and so supportive. And it is, like we've said before, it is, man, I am just crushing this microphone today. I'm cold, so I'm trying to bundle myself together. But what I was going to say is, it is such an amazing feeling to know that you are not alone in something that you are going through. And I thought that was one of the coolest messages that you got from someone, was them just saying, you know what, I battle a lot with certain anxiety issues and difficult things. And it was really, really amazing for me to get to hear that you battle with those things too, and to hear you talk about your faith and, different things like that. I mean, being validated like that by them, they're validated by listening to us talk, but then we are validated by them reacting to what we're putting out there. It's a huge confidence builder.
Yeah, and it's that circle that we hit on, that smile. Just
it's a good circle instead of a vicious one.
It is a good, and that is breaking those cycles, though, of viciousness, or breaking those cycles in someone's day. That's what takes people to the next level, because you can have a negative cycle and then be taken out of it very easily. And that message, even though it was crazy, even though he just talked about it, like, oh yeah, I battle with depression and anxiety. I woke up that day and I was like, oh my gosh, why is it so bad this week? Why is it? Why? And that was the wrong question to ask. I could have looked at it in a better light, but that one person changed my cycle.
Yeah.
That one person helped me to realize that what we do out here, though it may be cold, though it may be hot, because
it was hot.
Well, at one point we're gonna be out here sweating our tushies off, and so we sacrifice ourselves for that to help, and that help. Again, we're not professionals. We're just giving you our take on it, and that's what Backyards and Bevvies is my take on life, our journey through life, our walk through everything difficult, everything hard, everything that we've ever done.
Okay, Dr. Cox. Everything. That's exactly what you sound like.
That is exactly what it sounds like. And we journey through this together, and our listeners get to hear this in someone that they know. Maybe they don't know me. Maybe they don't know you. Maybe they don't know both of us. But what they do is they get to put a face to it. They get to put a voice to it. They get to hear someone different. Maybe they've heard it before. Maybe they heard it from all their family and all their friends and everybody. And then here's this one, surfer voiced 14-year-old guy.
You don't sound like a 14-year-old.
Telling them yeah, today my kid pooped on me, then the cats knocked over the TV, and then
there have been days like that.
There was the smoke alarms are going off, and everything's on fire. Oh, and I'm hungover.
Yeah. How's your day?
I still smiled at that guy, though.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point, though, is that through all of the things that we battle, you continually help me to be a better person. You continually show me how to look on the bright side of life and say, yeah, okay, cool, you messed up, get over it. We need you to just be dad. We need you to come out here, even if it's just on the couch. We're gonna light up a movie. I got you some McDonald's.
I did get you McDonald's yesterday.
And I just need you to just come out here and have some fun.
Yeah.
And that was a gesture that spoke so loud to me, because you could have been mad at me. You could have been furious and just made the day hard. But you chose not to. And that's big. That's big of you as my wife, as my friend, as co-parent.
Yep.
To look at me dying at a toilet, praying to a porcelain god.
You were praying hard yesterday. I felt so bad for you.
But you didn't treat me bad. And I knew. I said, wow, okay, well, if she's willing to look past my mistakes, I have to look past my mistake, and I have to just get up. I have to go be part of this family. And then this morning, waking up thinking, I still feel a little down, but I have to go out here and I have to give this podcast because I have too much to say. Mm-hmm. I have too much stuff to say about last week that totally fits still because, hey, I am not perfect. And look at me once again, messed up. And look at me once again. I've filled my life with anxiety and a little bit of anger at myself. But here it is. Look at it. Take it in, hear it, and then understand that, well, here's the person that broke the cycle, and that's you.
Oh, thanks.
Well, and then we get to come out here to this backyard and take that deep breath. Take it in and then breathe it out.
Yeah.
And get to enjoy something that isn't just four walls and a TV screen.
For sure.
And so I just have to say thank you again for continually showing me that life is full of joy, even on some of those harder days. And yesterday, though it was a hard day for me, I had joy watching the Planes movie.
The Planes movie, it's cute.
With Dane Cook as one of the voices.
Yep.
I had fun eating McDonald's, even though it hurt so bad. And I wanted to cry. Every bite was the most painful bite of my life.
Oh.
And then being able to just be on the couch with family and the little guy and your mom, and then we ordered Dairy Queen.
Yeah, can't go wrong there.
So, yeah, I just have to say thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for not wallowing. I mean, I know that it's easy. You do get down on yourself, and you are very hard on yourself when you make a mistake. You are your own toughest critic, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
And I was very proud of you yesterday because you really pulled yourself out of it, and didn't beat yourself up once I said to you, hey, you made a mistake. It's not a big deal. Everybody has been there. I have been there. You have taken care of me in the same situation on our honeymoon. So, you know what? It happens. It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Get some rest. Hydrate, feel better, and
I'm getting a new hair
when you can.
Yeah, and that was the smile. That was the wink, the smile, the bit of gratitude that it went a long, long way. And I just have to continually say it on this episode because without that, who knows where today would have been then. And we could have not been doing this podcast.
Yeah, we didn't want to ruin your birthday.
Well, I'm not a big celebrator of it.
No, I know, but I always make you celebrate.
I know. And we could have ruined the whole weekend, though, just by that one moment with me. And I decided that because of your gratitude and your love, that I had to suck it up. So I think that this was a good podcast to get to our listeners.
Yeah.
Let them know, like, look, even after we just had that one, really
we gone through it. We're better. No, we're not.
Nope. We went right back into the hole. Well, I did.
Sometimes the hits just keep coming.
And it is hard, but I just want to say thank you to all of our listeners always, because it means the world to me that I can come out here and I can be with you and I can be with my friends too. And I think in the future we're discussing about adding a third chair, so that way you're more of a part of these podcasts, even on the interview days. Yeah. I think you'll just add in that much more. And it just means the world that people care to take the time out of their life and listen and catch into our lives. And hopefully people hear this and they say, I'm going to go to a park today. Yeah. I had a friend that used to go swing all the time.
Oh, that's so fun. I love that.
That was her escape. And it always, every time I see a set of swings, I always think of that.
That's sweet.
But there's things like that in people's lives where, some people are walkers. Like they just want to get out and go for a walk and take that energy, put it somewhere. Like my grandmas were prayers.
Yeah.
They would take that energy and they would go put it somewhere else. And I'm a worker outer, but even on those days, some days that I work out, it doesn't get rid of it. So I thank everyone for writing. Please, if you have any comments, always write to us. Let us know how you feel about these episodes. It just helps us build better content, and I hope that this episode again shows people that we are human. We are full of mistakes. We are clearly not perfect.
And they will always keep coming.
And no matter how perfect something looks online or how perfect something looks on through your lens, you have to put yourself in other people's lenses sometimes too and be like, okay, maybe they aren't having a great day.
Yeah.
So even that person smiling, I'm going to smile with them.
Good.
But thank you for the birthday wishes.
Of course.
Sorry that you don't know the year I was born.
Oh, here we go. My good graces only get me so far.
I'll only hold you so far to them.
Great. I'll buy you a drink
I'm gonna read this thing one more time because I think that it may grow a little. I read it a couple times this morning before we came out, but B&B is more than just a brand. It's a state of mind. It is that moment when people say, I took a deep breath and I let go of the things I can't control. I think that we're here. We're finding that deep breath. We're finding that ability to let our listeners even take a deep breath and exhale. So with that, I think we're going to end this birthday Stranger Things podcast.
Why him? I get all your movie references.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
If anyone is looking for a hysterical movie to watch with their significant other,
not kid-friendly.
Not kid-friendly. Not one little bit kid-friendly.
No, it is an adult-only movie for sure.
I might go watch it just because it's hysterical.
It funny.
Might be one of my favorite movies with James Franco.
Yeah, it's called Why Him.
Why Him? And just know that Stranger Things reference was at the very beginning. Kimmy Schmidt. Stranger Things.
All right, time for us to go.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another one. All right. Well, I just have to say thank you to everyone that supports us. Please feel free to leave messages, to go and rate and review us on Apple or Spotify or Google, wherever you listen. Bing. Is Bing still?
Bing. I don't know if that exists anymore.
I think Bing's still. I know one person that uses it in life.
Is that your dad?
No.
Oh.
he was a touring guy. I think he might be their only client.
Love it.
They're like, wow, look, this IP address popped up again.
Bloop bloop.
We love this guy. But thank you so much, BK. I'm gonna pre say this, but thank you for all the birthday wishes.
Yeah, birthday wishes.
Because this will come out Wednesday, and so by then I would have probably seen a few birthdays. Maybe like 4.
Yes.
But thank you all so much for all that you do for the show, all that you do in our life, and we just ask that you continue to enjoy, support, and go in your backyard today.
Yeah.
Enjoy some fresh air. Cheers to me for my birthday.
Yeah, cheers to you. We'll see you guys soon.
Cheers.
Woo.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms up.
Oh, that's too cold.
Delicious.
Have a wonderful week.
Bye.